Can we get the tariffs before?
I want to talk about steel tariffs. That's why.
Kevin's going to let me keep going. Go ahead, Kevin. Does it make sense?
Okay. Yeah. So President Trump has made it clear that an important part of an America First golden age is steel production. And when we put the steel tariffs in last time, you might go back and look right after the steel tariffs went in. It didn't cause manufacturing to go down. In fact, manufacturing jobs the next couple of years went up about 120,000 jobs right after the steel tariffs came in. And we could talk about why. And then under President Biden last year, we lost 100,000 jobs. And one of the things that's happened is that there was a lot of increased steel capacity after the steel tariffs came in, which, remember, were put in there so that if in case of war, we can have the steel we need to fight a war. That's what the president said. It was a 232 decision. And so steel capacity went way up. And then all of a sudden there's waivers for this and waivers for that. There's hundreds of thousands of waivers. And so that the steel tariffs that were so effective before have been overwhelmed with waivers. And so President Trump, as he can do, is like, OK, so let's just stop the waivers. And he'll do so at a time of his choosing. The order is not out yet, but he said on, to us and on Air Force One that this is a high priority to make sure that America is ready for whatever may come in the future and that we've got a strong and vibrant steel industry.
So how are you going to even the playing field? You talk about tax reciprocity around the world, and the president Trump is obsessed with balance of payments wherever they are. Some people don't think that. I mean, we're a wealthy country. We're not going to change our balance. We're definitely going to consume more than most of our trading partners because we're able to. Kevin, is that the metric we should be using to decide whether there's an imbalance and whether we need tariffs from Mexico or for Canada or wherever?
The reciprocity, there are different ways to think about reciprocity, but if we're talking specifically about tariffs, just recall that almost every trading partner has much higher tariffs than we do. In fact, the only trading partner that's about where we are, and there's Canada and Mexico who are part of the trade deal, but outside of that, the UK has about the same tariff we do. The EU it's 2 to 3% higher. Taiwan it's 10 or 11%, and India, and we're meeting Modi soon, has got a lot to talk about with the president because they have tariffs that I think the trade weighted average is a little bit short of 20. Now I'm running it out of my head, so don't give me a Pinocchio. But they have high rates that are enormously high. They're lockout rates, and so President Trump believes that at the very least everybody should agree that if they're charging us 20, then we should charge them 20, and then if they go down, we'll go down. But that's the idea of reciprocity in the tariff space.
Hey, Kevin, can I just ask you, yesterday President Trump said something on Air Force One on his way to the Super Bowl about how maybe there was something at Treasury where we didn't have as much debt as we thought. Is that referring to debt that's already been issued that we might recall or say isn't needed, or is it more akin to what you were talking about at the top, which is
it was the top. It was the top. As we're getting, back in the day, radiologists used to say you're getting a wet read, right? Like they'd get the film out and then they'd look up and they say, oh boy, it doesn't look so good for Kevin. Well, the wet read is a lot of money. And we'll see. We've got to get to the bottom of it. But it could be that there is a lot of money being spent that doesn't need to be, and that wasn't appropriated. So therefore, it'll reduce the debt when we uncover and stop those payments.
President comes up with a lot of stuff. Some of it seems a little bit impromptu. If you add all the tax on tips, tax on Social Security, extend the tax cuts, take off the cap on Social Security, you add it all up, and in your previous life, you might be pulling your hair out, Kevin. There's a lot of stuff that would be.
I think that everything you just talked about, I spoke with him before he said it while he was sitting in a car somewhere on the campaign
You don't think
trail.
that it's not all possible without running up a big deficit, is it?
Well, it depends on what we do with spending, and it depends what we do with taxes. But the thing I could say, Joe, is that the president understands that if you want inflation to go down, which is one of his highest, if not his highest priority, incomes the first couple of years under Biden dropped $2,000 per person after going up $6,000 per family under President Trump because of the inflation. So he wants inflation under control. To do that, you have to increase supply and reduce aggregate demand. So you got to cut spending and you got to increase supply. And the way you increase supply is you lower the marginal tax rate on labor and you lower the marginal tax rate on new investments. And so for labor, if you look at the people who aren't working who really want to be, it's people who have really ridiculously high Social Security tax rates. points. If we've got somebody who can work more overtime, that's increased labor supply. That helps them make a higher income, and it helps reduce inflation because we have more supply. So President Trump's strategy is 100% sensible, and it's all about fighting inflation and just delivering prosperity.
100%.
Again, as opposed to 100%. That's 100%. Okay, like so maybe there's something he talked about once that was about something else. He does go on, but I'm telling you that when we talk economics,
he thinks
our objective
outside the
is
box.
Increase supply. We want increased supply and lower aggregate demand. That'll give us, wealth for the people, wages for the people, and lower inflation. And that's what I mean. That's 100% is what the strategy is.
I mean, he's told Brett Baer he really is serious about Canada as the 51st state. There are some things that you're laughing, but are there times where you're like coming up with ways to defend some things that seem a little bit maybe outlandish?
When the U.S. was founded, how many states did we have?
Hey, Kevin.
And how many do we have now? And so is it outlandish? Is it outlandish to dream?
Some of it seems a little outlandish.
I don't think so.
I mean,
so it's
like
crazy to let Hawaii and Alaska come. It's just crazy. It's outlandish that we brought Alaska in.
Canada's really mad.
I got one for you, Kevin.
But I think he's telling you that they are serious.
How do you feel about, Mike Lee took to X yesterday and said that he wants Ron Paul to be the Fed chair, and your new roomie, Elon Musk, who's next door to you, apparently, said this would be amazing. How do you feel about Ron Paul in the role of Fed chair?
I love Senator Paul, and President Trump will decide who the Fed chair is when...
No, Ron, not Rand. Ron.
Yeah, we're talking about Ron.
Okay. I thought you said Rand. Yeah. Okay, Ron Paul. Well, okay. The president, if he decides Ron Paul, then we'll understand why he decides that.
It sounds like
when
you're
he tells
not
us.
necessarily on board with that. Okay, Kevin. Thank you.